for my video to upload so I can start the part 2, I was playing The Sims 4. So, yeah. Anyway, back to my last video where I was talking about the Kim and Kanye situation and how so many black people have been blaming the Kardashians for the black men in their lives breaking down. First of all, if you are a black man who willingly chooses a white woman as your partner because of the false belief that white women are better, it is your fault if anything negative happens due to that relationship. I am sorry. It is not to victim blame if the person is toxic and abusive. There is a difference. But if you, a black man, knowingly dates a white woman or marries a white woman, and she's racist or appears to be someone who is insensitive to black culture, it is your fault if she turns out to be a piece of shit and she hurls you into a downward spiral. Okay? Because I am so sick of black men saying, I want a Latina that's not black. I want a white woman. I want an Asian woman. And then when that bitch turns out to be racist as hell, as you knew. See, it just came on the Sims game because my touchscreen. But when a bitch turns out to be racist, then you want to play victim and come crawling back to black women saying how you were forced to do all these things. Like, no. Kanye, you were told from time to time that Kim Kardashian contradicts all of your beliefs. You say you hate capitalism, but guess what? Kim Kardashian, that whole family are prime examples of capitalism. As well as that, you want to sit there and talk about white supremacy, colorism, paperback tests. Guess what? You got with a woman whose sole purpose is to appropriate black womanhood. Women, like the most popular women of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, is Kylie and Kim. And these are the women that look the most like trying to be light-skinned black women. Honestly, I'm not going to say they look black, they don't, but they have features that you associate with black womanhood, like full lips, a big butt, you know, all that jazz. And it's not to say all black women have to have those features. No, like, no, I'm not saying every single black woman has full lips, but typically black women have a big ass, more curves to them, and full lips, you know, like it's genetics. It's not every black woman. But for people to get defensive, like, well, it's not just black women, okay. But now you trying to claim features that a few years ago you were trying to say were ugly, but now that it's considered beautiful, and now you realize that, hey, black features are indeed beautiful. Now you're trying to act as if this is something that anyone can have, which is true. But whenever you want to be negative, then, oh, having a big butt is for black bitches. Oh, having nigger lips, all of that. So no, I don't feel sorry for Kanye West because he had a mental breakdown when he's dating shitty people or married to shitty people. I don't know why I say married to, or I don't know why I say dating, because Kanye and Kim aren't dating, but I feel like they aren't even a married couple. I feel like they are too mature for each other, but I feel like Kim is more mature than Kanye. If Kanye and Kim were to ever have a divorce, I would want Kim to take care of those kids, because I feel like for Northwest's sake, Kanye is not fit to be a father as far as raising her, teaching her about her own blackness, because everyone knows how black men are. When they don't want to date women of their own race, they want a light-skinned mixed child, and then when she's a girl, they project all that colorism and misogyny onto her. I feel Kim has a better head on her shoulder about black culture than Kanye, because at least nowadays Kim is trying to learn. She's kind of withdrawing herself from that whole Kardashian fiasco, the whole clan, and she's really trying to settle down after what happened with the whole robbery situation, which I feel sorry for her. No one deserves to go through that. So I am just glad that Kim is laying low and taking care of herself when it comes to self-care, and that's what a lot of us should do. When something traumatic happens to you, you know, you just need to lay low. You need to take care of yourself. Just don't try to bring yourself into the spotlight. And you know, that's just how the Kardashians are. I feel like out of the whole Kardashian clan, I feel, I don't know, like, I can't even say Kourtney is that great either. Because I used to think Kourtney was someone that minded her own business, but I feel like Kourtney is a little bit mean as well. And Khloe is just a complete cunt. She really is. She has that complex of I wasn't born pretty or I was born average, so I'm gonna take it out on the world. But you're white, sweetie, so it's okay. Like even average white girls get better play than the most gorgeous black woman. You'll be good. But anyway, I feel it's Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner. I'm sorry, but Caitlyn Jenner is problematic with her Republican views and being pro-Trump. And then we got Kylie, who just doesn't give a damn about black girlhood. All she cares about is herself. She just cares about trying to be the hottest girl in the world at the expense of black girls, and having her friends Justine Skye and Jordan Woods co-sign that shit like coons. I'm sorry, but Justine Skye has been acting like a coon by making fun of a mutual's hair that I follow, making fun of her locks, but then wants to parade around about being a carefree black girl. I'm sick of this. And this brings me to this next topic. Winnie Harlow, the girl who has vitiligo, she was under fire because she made a comment about a model Ducky's hair texture. There is a picture of this dark-skinned model with 4C hair that is straightened and is pulled back into a ponytail. Her edges aren't laid. It's just natural. That's how a lot of girls who either have perms or straightened natural hair look like, when it's not bone straight or anything like that. Well, Ducky said that her hair was basically appearing like a cauliflower, and people caught on to that and said that she was problematic. How can you say something like that? How can you make fun of another girl's looks when you have something that makes people make fun of you because you have a pigmentation disorder? How can you talk about another black girl's looks when you've been through the same thing? I'm not trying to put this moral burden onto her like, oh, you have vitiligo, so you should know better. But what I am saying is, I would think someone who's been through so much, who has been through so much ableist abuse, who has been through so much lookism on top of ableism, I would think you would have more sympathy than that. I would think someone of your caliber who's supposed to be uplifting to black girls, especially black girls with skin disorders, I would think you would just watch your mouth on what you say about another black girl's hair. I would. And we all say things that, make us look bad. We all try to say something funny, and it's not nice. That wasn't a nice comment. She meant to be hurtful. And then she tried to take it back like, oh, well, all hair textures are beautiful, and I didn't mean what I said. You're just being sensitive. And then Ducky responded with, I felt ugly about my hair for years. I didn't feel beautiful on America's Next Top Model. They made me change my hair because it was too nappy. They acted as if they couldn't take care of my hair, even though they claim to be experts on hair, all hair types. And she said, Winnie, that wasn't a cute comment. You try to be cute, but it didn't work out for you. So, I don't really have respect for Winnie Harlow when it comes to her views. She also co-signed white girls doing blackface and pretending that they had vitiligo to quote unquote honor Winnie Harlow. And I'm not going to sit here and speak for people with vitiligo or albinism or any pigmentation disorder and say, well, this is how you should feel, because I don't personally have it. But I don't think it's right for you to be okay with racism towards white people, for you to say, well, as long as they are honoring me, because to be honest, that is some coon shit. You're basically saying that as long as you are getting approval from white people, it doesn't matter. And that's a terrible thing for you to promote, Winnie. So that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. And then this Young Thug situation. Honestly, I liked Young Thug. I liked his music. I thought that he was straight. But then I find out that at the airport, maybe a week and a half ago, he goes off on these two black women working at the airport because this is his fault. He decided that he was going to screw around and miss the plane. And instead of just taking it like a big man and getting another flight, he goes off on the two black women, calls them nappy-headed hoes, implies that because they look visibly African, indigenous African, that they are ugly, basically making fun of indigenous African features that we associate with particularly West Africans, basically saying that those are ugly features, basically saying because you look African, you are ugly. So he's just canceled because I cannot continue to support these rappers who want to make it clear that they aren't here for black women. They want to sit here and say that they are for black people as a whole, but turn around and say, well, black women aren't really considered people, so they don't matter. Kodak Black, he's been canceled, but I never was a fan of his. But I was actually quite disappointed in Young Thug, but I wasn't too surprised. It was going to come out sooner or later, and I blame Lil Wayne for this whole epidemic of these black male rappers deciding to put their foot in their mouths when it comes to black women. So many black men want to sit here and say they want a foreign bitch, they want a Latina girl who isn't like Zoe Saldana, or like there are Afro Latinas, but like here's the thing, in the African American community, African American men tend to like women that aren't African American, or they like women that are considered exotic. So even if you were Afro Latina and looked like me, the ideal that you speak Spanish, that you're not African American, makes you better than me. And it's not everyone that thinks that way, because I understand anti-Latin sentiments as well, and I don't want to give the impression that I have anything against Latinas or Hispanic women. I don't. I think you can criticize the standard of beauty that some Latinas adhere to and the anti-blackness that some of them perpetuate, as well as the misogyny war, and still not have an issue with those who are indigenous Latinx or those who are mestiz, people like that. I don't want people to feel as if I have anything against Latinas. I don't. And I'm not going to sit here and make these horrible comments about the Latinx experience. That's not what I am trying to say, but it's just this ideal that if you don't look like Sofia Vergara, or if you must be black, you have to be Christina Milian, to be like an acceptable black girl. You can't be African American. It's like when it comes to black media, all these women that aren't African American always have some influence in these hip hop entertainments. As much as I respect Angela Yee, she is someone who is West Indian and Chinese. So like part of her appeal is being racially ambiguous, light skinned, someone who you can't really tell is black or not. Because I think people say that she's half black and she's half Chinese. So we know for sure that she's half Chinese, but we say that her mom is from, I don't want to get it wrong, but Monter, like, I can't really pronounce it well. I will look it up later. But, people automatically assume that if you are West Indian, then you must be of African descent, and that's not the case. And it's dangerous to often conflate being West Indian with being black, because then we have some non-black West Indians that feel as if they can appropriate African culture because, well, they are around a lot of black people. They are from a country that is predominantly black. And there are Latinx that feel that because they are from Colombia, or because they are from the Dominican Republic, or because they are from Cuba, that they have ownership of West African culture because they have 4% of black in them. So I'm not going to automatically assume because someone says that they are from a West Indian nation that means that they are black. But so many people have said that Angela Yee is a black woman, so I'm not going to question that. But all these radio hosts that are female tend to be racially ambiguous. They tend to look like you can't even tell if they're black or not unless you ask them. And it's just very problematic. Charlemagne the God just last week asked why there aren't many black women with a platform like Tomi Lahren, this white woman that has been causing a storm with her bigoted comments. She is a conservative Republican who just makes a living off of saying that Black Lives Matter is the equivalent of the KKK, when the bitch will probably support the KKK. She'll probably call them an alt-right. She is a damn Nazi. She is a fascist. She is a white supremacist. There is no doubt about it. And if something bad were to happen to her, I probably wouldn't shed a tear because this is ridiculous. we have a man named Trevor Noah who entertains this white blonde bitch because I guess she's cute. So even if she's racist and dangerous as hell, he can buy her cupcakes. We have Charlamagne who is hanging out with Tommy Lauren wearing a little skull cap looking like she's down when this is a racist ass white bitch. And he thinks if she likes black penises, then that means Black Lives Matter. And you can say that Charlamagne is a troll all you want, but he is disgusting to me. I've encountered a few arguments with him before. People I follow also encountered arguments with him. This isn't something like, I'm going to be satirical and say something funny, but then to highlight a real issue. No, he was trying to save face. When Cheska Lee came for him and said, I have my own channel with MTV. There are so many black women like Kat Black that have their own channel that speak on these issues, and for you to look over them and say black women aren't having a platform, that's bullshit. She didn't say all of that because Cheska Lee is very respectful. She's very professional, but she basically said, I am someone that has a platform, but no one is really looking to me. Like, I have just as much of a platform than Tommy Lauren, because I didn't really, no one really knew who Tommy Lauren was until the whole Beyonce Super Bowl incident, and she wanted to make herself known by using Beyonce's name because her little light-skinned fave now wanted to honor the Black Panthers. She sounded really hurt when her little light-skinned fave, Beyonce, decided to not cater to white supremacy anymore, even though she never did. But white people were so disappointed in Beyonce when she decided, hey, I'm black as hell. I may be light skinned with blonde weaves, but hey, I'm black as hell. But, Cheska Lee came in and educated Charlamagne, and now Charlamagne wants to give himself Donkey of the Day and say, these are all these wonderful black women and Latinx women who are doing something with the online community. And in the video that I watched, Ashley Miller, I follow her as well. She usually does reviews of Love and Hip Hop and black TV shows, stuff like that. But every Thursday she has her What It Is video. She had said something in Charlamagne's defense that Charlamagne was just saying that, oh, we need to have more of a platform than Tommy Lauren. We need to be just as big as Tommy Lauren. No, how he worded it was basically to troll us. He basically said, I sure wish black women would do more than what they are doing now, like Tommy Lauren. That's basically what he said. He said he basically pulled a Carrie Hilson when Carrie Hilson said, I am so glad that Rachel Dolezal pretended to be a black woman because she does more for black women and black people in general than black people themselves. That's basically what Charlamagne was on. Pulling that whole, oh, a white person does more than you when it comes to racial issues. That's basically what he was saying. He was trying to be nasty about it. He got called out. People, saw how stupid he was. So now he wants to give himself the Donkey of the Day. And I'm just not here for it. Lastly, Blac Chyna and Rob Kardashian. Girl, when I tell you I have no sympathy for either one of them, I have no sympathy. Because I like Blac Chyna. I really do. But in this case, she is 100% wrong. She is 100% wrong. And I'm not talking about leaving Rob Kardashian because apparently Rob is emotionally abusive. If she wants to leave him and take the kids, that's her right. What I have a problem with is the fact that she wants to act as if she had no idea how severe Rob's depression and bipolar was. She hops into a relationship in the middle of this whole Tyga Kylie drama. A man that she was once married to, I believe, and has a whole son with. And he leaves her for Kylie, a younger girl. And now she marries into the girl's family. So that looks suspect as hell. Even I was saying something like, okay, Rob is depressed. He's suicidal. Or he committed. He has suicidal ideations. I believe he had a few suicide attempts from what I remember. He has an eating disorder. What are you doing with him, Chyna? I feel like Chyna came in like, yeah, I'm going to be this nice little neurotypical person and fix this mentally ill man. you know, and people were trying to romanticize it, saying, you know, a black woman helped this white man get back off his feet. You know, this neurotypical able-bodied black woman helps this mentally ill white man, and this just shows that all black women are able-bodied, neurotypical, and they are strong, and that they can help anyone, and that's not true. Black Chyna has been calling Rob psycho, saying everyone knows you a psychopath using emotional manipulative tactics against Rob. So for her to accuse him of being emotionally abusive, I don't fully buy it, because we have clips from their show of her berating him, accusing him of texting bitches, all of that. And I'm not saying that Rob is innocent in this, but I don't have sympathy for anyone who wants to sit here and go on an ableist rant about how depressed someone is, how they are mentally ill, as if that makes them a villain, trying to vilify a mental illness. And I feel like this was all a part of Blac Chyna's scheme. I am sorry. I feel like she got with Rob Kardashian because she knew he was suffering through some things, and then she can take the money, and then she can say, well, he's emotionally abusive, he's mentally ill. I don't want to believe it, but it's not looking good. It does not look good for you to send a whole rant on Instagram calling him fat, basically being fat phobic, saying you lost all this weight and you gained it all back. Like, come on, Chyna. Come on now. And then on top of that, you want to sit here and say you don't know what it's like to be someone dealing with someone else suffering from bipolar and depression. No, sweetie. The only person that suffers from bipolar and depression is a person with bipolar and depression. I am sick of neurotypicals thinking that they are just as much affected by bipolar or any type of mental illness as a person with bipolar or any type of mental illness. The same thing as parents feeling as if my child has autism, my life is over. I have autism. I suffer from it.